Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of BurlyFishing, or thanks for stopping by if this is your first time coming to the channel. Today we are doing our first official quarantine unboxing. This is the first unboxing we've done since on lockdown. Today we're gonna check out the Monsterbass regional box for the Midwest region versus the MTB Pro Box. Now, a quick note with this, regional $34.99, Pro Box $26.99. I did just upgrade back up to the Elite. The reason we do the Pro normally versus the Elite is because there wasn't a lot of difference for $14. So I'm gonna put it to the test again for you guys, and we'll compare again. So it'll be Elite versus Regional next month. The purpose of this video is to compare the quality of the baits in each of these boxes. Yes, there will be 2 more baits in this box versus this box. Not what I'm really worried about. I just want to see if the baits are up to snuff and if they're gonna catch us some bass, especially where I'm at. So, you know, I like that Monsterbass makes it regionally specific. That makes a big difference for me. So in this video, we'll unbox them. I'll show you guys all the baits and you decide for yourselves which is the hashtag better box. Before we get into it, guys, I am doing a giveaway right now. We just passed 1,000 subscribers and so appreciative of all you guys that have subscribed or helped me grow so far. It's been amazing. So you guys are awesome. Number 1, thank you. Number 2, I want to give you $100 in baits. That's right, $100 in tackle from these guys, from Monsterbass. These guys are so awesome. They sponsored this giveaway for me. Again, yes, we're unboxing these 2 boxes today. I'm gonna be an impartial judge, but these guys are awesome for sponsoring me and giving me $100 to give you guys. So if you want some tackle, click the link in the description below and follow the instructions to do so. All you really gotta do is subscribe to us, follow us on Instagram and Facebook, subscribe to the podcast, throw us 5 stars on there if you guys would. Thank you very much. And you know, you can always do daily entries of watching a few of my videos or just clicking a button. So there's plenty of ways to win. The more you enter, the more likely you are to win. Go get yourself $100 in tackle. Let's get into this video and let's unbox these babies, shall we? I'm excited. There's nothing to look forward to anymore. Actually, I can still fish. So you guys in motorized boats in Michigan, I'm so sorry to hear that you can't get your boats out. That absolutely sucks. But gosh dang it, is it a good time to be a kayak fisherman. Go get yourself a plastic boat and enjoy. So here we are, guys. We're opening these suckers up for the first time. I can tell this is gonna be a tough comparison. Quick PSA for this box, you guys, that I feel is very valuable information for you to know. Due to the corona crisis, or this pandemic that's affecting all of us right now, it's been a struggle for companies like Monsterbass or MTB to ship baits, mainly because the manufacturing and distribution from the companies who produce said baits is absolutely struggling. So luckily enough, we've been able to get these boxes here. I'm super excited about it to share them with you guys. But if you check out Monsterbass's channel, owner Rick has actually released a video explaining kind of the situation and what he's doing to address it. So check this out. We have 1 extra bait. It's the topwater bait you're gonna see in a second that came in the box. So instead of 8, we get 9. And for all regions that were unable to receive the Z-Man specific spinning bait, we actually ended up with a separate spinning bait, albeit from, you know, maybe not as great a brand, but still obviously it's very fishable. It's gonna be good. You'll see it towards the end of the video. And he's sending us a Z-Man spinning bait. So we're going to get that spinner bait anyways from Z-Man, high quality spinner bait. I love those spinners. And that's 10 baits in this box for the price of 8. So that's pretty solid. So kudos to that company. Again, yes, they're sponsoring my giveaway and they do awesome stuff and I might be wearing their hat, but you know, ultimately I just want to unbox these things so you guys can make your own decisions, and I need you to know that information right there. That's pretty fantastic. So let's get back to the content. All right, so the boxes are open. Let's dive right in. We're gonna start out with the biggest bait in each of these, starting with the MTB Mystery Tackle Box here. Got a top water, very interesting 13 fishing lure. So this is called the Motorboat. As you guys can see, it's sort of that pearl, like silver fleck and white color to it. And it's got a buzzbait tail. It's 13 fishing though, that's pretty rad. Okay, yeah, very interesting. Okay, So it's got this EWG style hook, looks like maybe a 3/0 there, and then you can just rig this thing weedless, even though it is mostly a topwater bait here. You're not really gonna throw a weight on this. You could definitely do that, like Texas rig or maybe Carolina rig it, but it's really meant to be buzzed across the top of the water. That's why it's called a motorboat. So you've got this little buzzbait style blade on the end that's just right into the tail of this sucker here. So that's gonna spin, it's gonna kick up a ton of water as you're ripping it across the surface. And this is probably a pretty buoyant plastic, so it's gonna float pretty well too. So it's already pre-rigged for you, which is cool. All you gotta do is probably skin hook the hook right there so that you don't get hung up in anything if you happen to pull underneath. But for the most part, yeah, it's gonna be like the topwater frog plastics, not the hollow body frogs, but the actual like plastic style. It's gonna be similar to that. And it's gonna work very similar to a buzzbait. So it's kind of a combination of the two, if you will. So that topwater plastic frog and a buzzbait, they made a baby and you get the motorboat. You know how I feel about novelty baits, so of course I'm gonna throw it. Hopefully I can catch something on it. Hopefully it doesn't end up like Danny the Duck and just kind of sits in my tackle box and never catches fish. But maybe it will, let's see. So there's that. MTB, bouncing over. Again, I said biggest baits I'll do first. We're back to monster bass here. This one I've been waiting on for a while. So this is a Monsterbass exclusive. It's called the Ragnar, which is, I mean, obviously an amazing name. And it's a topwater walking bait that should absolutely crush. I really want to get out on the river right now and throw this immediately. So what we've got is this cracked white and red body, pretty long body, about 5 inches just about, and it weighs about 3/4 of an ounce. So it's got a little heft to it. You're gonna be able to huck it a good distance, which is what you want. And then it's a walking bait. So you're gonna tie a loop knot on the end here. If you guys know how to do a loop knot, let me know if you wanna see some knot videos. We can definitely throw those in here too. But yeah, look it up. Loop knot on the end. That's gonna allow this bait, as you kind of jerk the rod, use the rod to walk it back, not the reel. It's gonna shoot to the side this way, and then this way, and then this way, and it's just gonna cause that reaction strike. The thing I really like about this is this little feather off the end. That's a nice touch. You guys know, if you've ever thrown something with these little tail feathers on, similar to like an X-Wrap or something like that, or some jerk baits with those, tend to get a little better reaction strike. So that's cool. That is something that's gonna definitely help you out. And then, you know, obviously we're going for not only a good paint job, good looking detail here, but something that's gonna look like a wounded and dying fish, or some sort of forage that a bass would eat on the surface, jerking across the top. So definitely awesome. Really excited about it. I don't know if you guys noticed. Oh, God. Ow. We also have this red hook. That's something that can really draw out some bites. And then look at the eye on that. Look at that. That's awesome. That's like one of the best paint job eyes I've ever seen. It's so dope. All right, so amazing, amazing bait. Going back to MTB, it looks pretty Guggen-y in here. We got some Guggen baits. So we'll go back to, stay on this topwater. We've got the Hound. I don't think I have one of these. I got a couple of Guggen topwaters. So this topwater is 1/2 ounce. It's a little bit shorter than the Ragnar. It's about just over 4 inches. Color, the sexy shad. Like, looks familiar. So that classic sexy shad style. We got the darker blue on the top with the scales detail. Your little gill dot there, whatever the heck you call it. White belly, the chartreuse or yellow stripe going down the side. So, I mean, it looks like a shad. It looks like a bait fish. Got red on the mouth. And with the Hound, we've got that sort of scooped mouth. So as you pop it across the water, again, working it with your rod, not with a reel, it's gonna, again, walk back and forth. We've got this feather. That scooped mouth is gonna spit some water as you're moving across the top of the water. So again, trying to generate some sort of a reaction strike, but looks great. You got your standard like Guggen reflective eye there. So all around, good. Another feather. Comparison side by side. Got the Ragnar's just a little bit bigger. Scoop mouth. There's a slight scoop to the Ragnar too. This one's definitely a little more pronounced. And then we've got girth, right? This one's a lot thicker. Both having the feather. So all around, some good looking topwater baits. I cannot wait till topwater action picks up around me very, very soon. So that's 2 on the MTB. We're going back to monster bass. Same with the hard baits for right now. We'll hit the Squarebill next. So this is a Bandit Lures Squarebill. It's gonna dive 4 to 6 feet. Color is Viral Perch. All right, boom. That is a poppin' color. So we got lots of purple in there, very, very aggressive chartreuse on the bottom of the belly. Got your little lines there going down the side, and then we've got the orange underbelly right there near the mouth. Got a pretty wide, flat bill, so I would fish this over some pretty heavy cover. And it's got a little bit of weight to it. It's probably about a ½ ounce too. So you'll be able to huck it about a mile and then fish it under, just slightly under the surface near the middle to the top water column area. Definitely something I would throw on the rivers. Probably go hit the dam that I've caught so many big fish at in one of my next videos. In the next couple of weeks, we'll hit that. But this is something I think I'm gonna catch some guys on, especially since the water is a bit darker right now. Having this purple chartreuse combo is gonna look mint. Back to MTB, yeah? Let's do that. Got 3 plastics, hooks, and a jig. So we're gonna hit this jig next. This is the Juicy. This is the Juicy. I think they have 3 or so different types of jigs with Cougans. So this is the Juicy jig. We got a 4/0 blue craw as the color, and this is a 5/16 ounce. I like that they print the weight on the bottom of the head there, so you don't have to guess like, oh, this is a heavy jig or not a heavy jig. Got a pretty thick brush guard on these. I think I've shown you in previous videos that they have that. And then this colorway, what did I say? Blue craw, yeah. This colorway and that blue craw having like the white and black, little blue highlight, and then that green pump color there. The head's a little black and blue fleck. So that looks really good, or green and blue. Green and blue? Looks green and blue. So green pumpkin and blue fleck on the head there. And then it's got that flat bottom to it. So it's gonna sit on the bottom just like that. So we'll throw on some plastics. There's some plastics in here. We'll look at what we can actually pair these things up if you guys are just straight fishing out of these boxes. So we'll get to that in a second. But we got that jig, right? Going back over to my boys here at Monsterbass. Got another Squarebill, another Bandit Lures. This one's 2 to 5 foot, so it's a shallower diving Squarebill. Color is Pearl Blue Herring. Still good for these dirtier waters from the spring runoff. We've got sort of this gold brownish tint to it. Got the pearl belly, right? Red on the gills, that looks pretty good, and then red under the lip there too. Again, a little wider on that bill, so I'll still run this over top of like pretty heavy cover. Got a couple spots on the home lake I can think of for this right now. Decent rattle to it. Didn't check this rattle. Oh yeah, a little lighter thump, but yeah, pretty good. So we got 2 different size Squarebells. So depending on the conditions and what the fish are doing and reacting to, in this box, we've got a lot of fishability. And like, again, that's what we're looking for. So I've got, so far with MTB, 2 top waters, more of a buzzing, like kick up tons of water. Then we got the walk-in bait. And now that we're back to it, let's check the next one. We're looking at, I guess before we hit plastics, we'll hit the last thing here. We've got some hammer hooks. Now these are decent hooks. I've used these before. These are in a 3/0. It's more of that straight shank, something you would use for worms, Texas rigging, right? You can also Texas rig creature baits to get it, but typically a straight shank you're gonna throw a worm on so that you can have that straight profile without a whole lot of extra hook hanging off. So 3/0 hooks right there, looking pretty good, very sharp. That's what you want. All right, we'll come back to rigging here towards the end once we get everything unboxed. Next up on Monsterbass, something I'm excited for. This is the Headbanger Rocker Head. It's designed for you to fish creature style baits and give it some crazy erratic action. It's 3/8 of an ounce. So it's not super heavy. If you guys have swing jigs or rugby jigs, they're typically a ½ ounce or heavier. This one's a little bit lighter, right? So 3/8 of an ounce. Notice that we've got this scooped, cupped area on the other side. What that's gonna do for us is give us some pretty erratic action, right? So we have our, so we got our little line tie right there. Creature goes on the back off of this interestingly shaped little sharp edged, extra wide gap hook right there. And as we're moving it through the water, you guys can probably figure out what this is gonna do. It's kind of a shutter bait. So it's that scoop mouth is gonna move back and forth, rapid vibration, and whatever we've thrown on the back of this is then gonna have some added action, because not only is it just like the claws of your crawbait moving around, but it's also this added shutter motion that's moving this whole hook, which is on this little swing section on the back. So the whole thing's just going crazy, right? So if you're looking for reaction strike, which we are pre-spawn here, we're gonna get it off of this. And hopefully they've got something we can pair it to, which we'll see in a second. Back to MTB, we're down to the plastics now. So let's hit this one first. Vertical lures. Okay, we've got actually a decent quantity. Ooh, and I didn't have to tear the plastic off. You guys know how that bothers me. What are we looking at here? Okay, it's a tube bait. Interesting. Very interesting tube. So it's a tube style bait. If you guys haven't fished tubes before, typically it's like this hollow body plastic top area. Can you hear that? It's hollow there. Typically they have some lighter appendages on the bottom. Let me show you one. All right, so this is a classic Zoom tube bait. Notice it's got these really like skinny appendages on the bottom, hollow body right there. And this is what is it? This is the Vertical Lures tube bait, side by side. So lengthwise, pretty similar. This one does not say, not for human consumption. Wow, somebody had to screw that up. Anyway, so you notice the appendages on the bottom here are a lot thicker. There's only 4 of them, but they're gonna move a little differently than your standard tube jig. I could see this doing something for sure. I've never fished this style of tube, definitely new to me. But what did I say about novelty? Like, let's try it, why not? So obviously it exists for a reason, it worked for somebody. I can't see rigging it with the hooks that they sent me, so I would have to, can I do this real quick? We could do this. Check this out. So this is how you guys are gonna rig it if you're gonna do this. So you're gonna Texas style the tube essentially. It's a little bit different, but this is the right length of hook for it, as you guys can see. So we take the hook, and I like to come up underneath the tube, like right into the hollow body section of it there. And then we're gonna punch it right back through, punch it through. So now we got this. Okay, and then we're gonna skin hook that, boom. Now we're weedless, straight body on that tube. And then you're just gonna throw a little sinker. So there are no sinkers in the box, so you will have to grab some obviously if you're just fishing out of this box. But little worm weight, little 1/4 ounce right on top, and you're in business. Black and red fleck, so you're gonna throw it in much darker, murkier, disgusting waters. But that will probably do some work right there. Back to monster bass. Let's talk this plastic just because I just talked about, get out of here, Zoom. Okay, so we just talked about this headbanger rocker head from the Monsterbass box. What are we gonna pair that to? We got this Gambler lures, Gambler, go fish. Gambler bang, why not? So we've got these Gambler plastics right here. So no idea what these are. Another win though, didn't have to tear the top off, makes me happy. Oh, okay, so we've got this creature style bait. Kind of a combination between like a beaver style bug bait. Let me split these appendages for you. With almost a tube, not hollow. So somewhere between a beaver style bait and a creature bait, right? So we've got little paddle appendages off the back, which are ribbed for fish pleasure, as you can see right there. So they're gonna move a lot of water, a lot of action already. And then what we would do, I like this blue. It's like a neon blue, if you guys can see that in the light. It's got a ton of action to it. So like a June bug almost with like some neon to it. So we're gonna take this. It's like garlic. Is that garlic? Ugh. That's tangy. What we're gonna do is it is a two-tone bait. It looks like it's more neon on the bottom. So we're gonna want the neon to be on the bottom. So again, we're gonna punch the hook through the top, come out just like 1/4 inch below that. I'm gonna slide it all the way up to the top of the hook there. We're gonna come back through, roll that bait up, come back through way down low, through the middle of the bait, So you guys can see the hook right there, and then we're gonna skin hook it right up the top. Boom, and you got yourself a good looking little creature bait that's fishable right out the box. Fishability win. I'm gonna leave this rigged because I'm gonna go fish with it maybe today. Weather looks good. Coming back to MTB, we've got the KVD Strike King KBD Perfect Plastics. This is green pumpkin candy is the color. This is the Ocho, not the Ned Ocho. We've gotten the Ned Ocho before in a Monsterbass box a couple months ago, I think. This is the Ocho, so this is just their short stick bait. Looks like this. Little different than your standard Senko style stick bait, where it's got these sort of, it's like an octagon. Shape is more octagonal. It's got like these flat surfaces instead of being rounded. Not exactly sure why. There's probably some reason to it. Good durable plastic though. I don't see this just like falling apart on you. So colder weather, generally speaking, you can fish smaller baits. So, you know, if you're throwing a bigger worm, you're just not getting any action on it, maybe consider downsizing. So having some of these shorter stick baits can come in handy for sure. So this is nice. And this is a color that's actually been working on my water lately. So water's clarity is not great. It's not like muddy. It's not like an inch of clarity. It's probably 2.5 feet. So this like green pumpkin candy style, it's like purple and green fleck. That'll probably work. So fishable win. Back to Monsterbass, we've got a froggy, right? So this is a Blitz Frog, which is spelled, can't see it because of the packaging here. Blitz Frog, P-H-R-O-G. Okay, this is a weedless, hollow body style frog, which I love. Boom, hollow body frog. So we've got sort of the sexy shad color almost, right? So a little chartreuse lateral line. You got a little gill dot. So we've got our little markings here. And then on the top, we've got more of that gray, dark gray to scale looking pattern. Mostly what I care about when it comes to the frog is the belly. Right, so there's tons of different color patterns, great, but the fish is not gonna see this if you're fishing it across the top of the water like this, right? So what I'm looking for is like, what color is this belly? And I mostly, around where I'm at, use white, natural, or black. So some sort of color like that. Natural being more of like a yellowish, greenish tint, something like an actual frog might have on it. I don't have a lot of white frogs, so a white belly is gonna be unique, something else I can throw, and then we've got the white skirt as well, which is gonna run across the top of the water. That's gonna look good. What's unique about this frog is there's a rattle in it. I don't think I have any frogs that do that. I've seen some different unique modifications to frogs in the past couple of years, but this is not one I've seen. Definitely interested to try it, see if the noise will incite some sort of reaction. But again, fish it just like you would standard hollow body frog. You're gonna cast it in. You're gonna cast it in somewhere where you normally can't get your lures, and you're going to walk it back to you using the rod to move the frog, not your reel. So it's gonna have that similar walking action back and forth, pop it across the top of the water. Absolutely love frog fishing. If you guys have not tried it, you need to. It's 100% like the most amazing thing you can do when you're fishing. Just seeing a fish blow up on top water alone, amazing. To land them on a frog, so much fun. So we have a frog, very fishable. Water temps are starting to come up where I'm at. So it's spring. This is the April box. I probably should have mentioned that at the beginning. This is the April box, so it's spring fishing season and water's just starting to warm up. A couple more degrees, we can probably start getting some mint topwater action. So we'll get there. Last one from the MTB. Again, this is a pro box, so it just has a few less baits, that's all. We will do the elite box next month, so stay tuned for that. We got a bug, black and blue. This is Big Bite Baits. And I like that. You don't have to tear the top off of it, but you can't hang it either. This is like their interesting little bag. I don't know. Anyway, so we've got a nice small little bug slash, dropped it, beaver style lure right there, black and blue, classic good color for where I'm at. Can I fish this? Absolutely. Would I fish it on this straight shank they sent me? Absolutely not. So I guess this was really just meant for this little guy or these tubes, okay? So if you got this box, most likely what they meant it for was this jig right here. So we take our little blue craw and pair it with our blue craw. We take our jig. Is there a top to this? Sure, there's eyes there. Punch the hook in the top. And come, oh man, getting past this brush guard is strength feat. I mean, that's good news. It means you're probably not gonna lose your jig. Okay. And we're just gonna slide her on up there. Like so. And then we've got a nice juicy jig all rigged out, paired up with our craw. So I'm gonna leave that on too, because I'll probably fish it that way. Here we go. So that's the MTB box. I'm gonna wrap up the Monsterbass box with one foul swoop. We've got 3 things left in here. Number 1, we've got some tour grade 12-pound mono from Strike King. This is kind of cool. Comes with a suction cup. So if I'm on the boat, I could probably suction this to the side of the kayak, the inside of the kayak. So we'll put it on the inside wall. Then if I need some leader, I'd probably be using mono around 12-pound test anyways, and I should be able to just pull this off as much as I want. So if I want like a 6-foot leader, I can get that. Or if I'm just rigging it to a Carolina and I want to use it, cool, I can pull off a little bit less and do that. So, good to go. Got some line, awesome. Interesting enough, we have the hooks, the lures, some line, more hooks, and then we also got a spinnerbait I'll get to in a second. So we got some Daiichi, 3 hooks here. These are 2/0, so a little lighter wire than the Guggen ones that we got in the MTB box. With those hooks, those 2/0, we could Texas rig this guy, or if you just bring some other plastics with you and you want to just Texas rig a worm, you can do that. Can never go wrong with having extra hooks, because you break off and you lose them and they rust sometimes, so always got to stock back up. Finally, we've got a Stopper Lures spinnerbait. All right, I like the beads on this one. It's good. We got a little chartreuse in white, little red, and then red eye right at the front. And then we've got the willow blade and the Colorado blade, 1 silver, 1 gold. Good combo, something that's been working decent around me, in the waters around me. So this means regionally, I think they kind of nailed this box. So good spinnerbait, something I would definitely use. Usually like start off the day with these right now. It's good searching bait. So we've got that. That's it, guys. So going back through, do MTB first here real quick. Got our big bite baits, black and blue craw. We've got these interesting, the vertical lures, black and red tube with the intense appendages, if you will. We've got that Strike King KVD Perfect Plastic Ocho in the green pumpkin candy grass. Got that juicy jig from Guggen Squad. We've got the hound from the Guggens. We've got this 13 fishing motorboat, that little buzzbait topwater guy. We've got these Guggen hooks, which I paired up to the tube right there. We rigged that weedless, you guys saw that. And oh, sticky, got a sticky way down here. There it is, which is this crazy robot fish thing. I don't know, it's going on the table. The Catch Co. Crazy Fish. Monsterbass, we had the stopper baits spinner lure. So we got that, chartreuse and white. Straight shank worm hooks, 2/0. Got the Gambler Fish Crazy Blue Neon Creature Bait, which we paired up to that Headbanger Rockin' Head. It's that shutter bait style. We've got the Ragnar, big old 5-inch topwater walking bait. Got our 2 Bandit Lures Squarebills, that nice wide bill on there. One diving a little deeper than the other, one bigger than the other, both with that heavier rattle. And then we've got our delicious looking frog, P-H-R-O-G, with the rattle. And we've got some line, 12-pound test, boom, with a suction cup, which is cool. Both boxes, very fishable. Oh, where's my sticky? Monsterbass sticker, right there. The only good Corona is an empty Corona. Stay thirsty, my friends. So, yeah, rad. I like it. It's a little, hopefully just like a little comedy and something that we can use to blissfully remember this crazy time by. But that's it, guys. So we've got both boxes all run through. Again, I do these unboxings so that you guys can decide which is the better box. Hit me up in the comments below which box did better this month, which box is more fishable, which box would be more fishable in your region. Understand that Monsterbass does regional boxes, so they pick them specifically based on the spawning seasons, water temperature, the weather, and how you fish in your specific area. And they use different pros in those areas to help determine those lures. So something interesting. So if you didn't think this regional box really matched up to your region, it probably didn't if you don't live in the Midwest Great Lakes region. So check out one of those guys' videos, anybody else on the Monsterbass team. But hopefully you guys got a lot out of this video. You can see what these boxes look like if you think about getting your own. We've got a link in the description below. Not only a chance for you guys to win $100 in Monsterbass tackle, but if you want your first box for 10 bucks, there's a little link down there. Click it and go get a box with a sick discount. So there's that. I know Carl's Club does the same thing. If you guys want to check them out, go to mysterytacklebox.com or carlsclub.com. And again, choice is yours, guys. Which one's more fishable? Hit me up in the comments. If you guys want to follow me on social media, you can find me at BurlyFishing, Instagram and Facebook. Check out the BurlyFishing podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, or anywhere there's podcasts. And if you guys like the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Click that subscribe button down below. Smash that like button on the video. Ring that notification bell to know when we post more videos. You can see more stuff, and that's super cool. Yeah! Otherwise, that's it for today, guys. Stay safe, stay healthy. Hopefully we'll see you at a distance out on the water.